In this second video, we will move through a couple more class activities. Again, this class is more of a getting to know you type meeting. Just what is this room about, and what am I about, and who are you, and who am I, and all that kind of stuff. So there's that getting to know you quality about it, but also there are some singing activities. You will note that there is a lot of Gordon, that music learning theory idea. This is a kindergarten first grade class, so we're working in that early childhood mode where they're being acculturated to music. And we will stay at this level for quite some time until I assess whether they're ready to move on to more structured activities. Be that as it may, there is a lot of non-worded singing, a lot of highlighting tonic and dominant that you'll notice in the last video and throughout this particular video as well. Past that, we will have some movement activity, and then we will get into centers. And I'm not sure if we'll get into centers on this particular video or the third video, but we'll get into centers. Again, everything is about establishing expectations, routine, and self-control, executive skill, executive function.
I need you just to move your hands. Let's dance. The Jack in the Box jumps up. Jack in the Box goes up. Jack in the Box goes
I don't know that you caught it, but I was going to start an activity and I evaluated the situation and realized that I was setting myself up for failure. And so I quickly stopped that and I started a gross motor activity instead. And then I will come back to the sedentary activity.
I am waiting for people who are,
This is true for any grade level, but is especially true at early childhood. There must be a nice balance between gross motor activities and sedentary activities. You cannot expect children to maintain any sort of self-control if they are sitting for more than a minute or two. Notice throughout the video how often I change up activities from standing to sitting to standing to sitting. That is a great technique for managing children's self-control until they can do it for themselves.
comes down with a frog. Jack in the Box jumps up. Jack in the Box is frog. Jack in the Box is running around. And the wind comes down. Now see a higher voice. Jack in the Box jumps up. The Jack in the Box goes fly. The Jack in the Box goes around and around, and the lid comes down with a lock. I'm singing, you're listening.
I generally like to create musical examples, improvisations that have rests throughout them, and in those rests I will add a snap or a light clap or something for the children to do. And you will probably notice throughout the videos that I use this whole and the accompanying as something to grab the children's attention. Not only is it musical, it is also an attention getter. It is an effective classroom management technique, at least for me.
Sir, I noticed that notice many people are listening. Why do you think they're drums?
No music. It's a music.
It's a music space. It's yes, sir. What do you notice?
Since gross motor movement is a double-edged sword, it is incredibly important for children's learning, but yet it is so easily one of the things that gets out of control. I go very slowly and insist that there is order when we are doing gross motor. Again, if I do not insist on this at the outset, the rest of the year is pretty much a wash.
You can follow me. You can follow me. Or you can do your own thing. You can move your own. Move your feet. And sit right where you stand. No, right where you stand. Sit down. Sit. Now, you move. Stand along. And sit down.
That's the violin playing.
That is a positive.
Cool.
I notice many children listening. I notice many sitting on the bottom. I notice many looking at me. Just girls get to move to this particular piece of music. It's different. Jake, thank you, girls. Sit right where you stand. Jake, I noticed you were one of the first individuals. Please sit right where you stand. Please sit right where you stand. Jake, I noticed you were one of the first people to do this. Why did you do that?
Because it was high.
Big voice.
Because it was high, you know. So how
Right.
the person was making
The person was making what?
orchestra.
Oh, it was an orchestra, so you were the conductor?
Yeah, because I was doing it. I was the piano.
Boys, because there are so many of you, I'm going to touch your head when I want you to move. This is the boys' time to move. Okay? Now, if I don't touch your head, boys, you may not move. What's your name again?
How about you two?
Excuse me? What's your name?
How about you two whisper to me?
One of the things that I do when I'm working with children is to watch what they're doing and see how what they're doing naturally already is musical. How will it serve the purpose that I need it to serve to cover the content that the state requires me to cover? So I'm constantly evaluating what they're doing, assessing, and then highlighting what they're doing. Again, if I say something, it's not nearly as important as if a child comes up with the same idea. So use that as a pedagogical tool for you. And we'll continue the conversation in the next video.